What's going on? It's your boy Sermon, at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. 2 Future albums within 2 weeks. It actually happened. Future gave us Self-Titled on February 17th, and the following week, February 24th, he came out the gate with Hendrix. This album is a lot more R&B oriented. It's nothing like his Self-Titled album. Self-Titled, look at it like this. Self-Titled is more for the streets, for that aggressive side, and Hendrix is more on the R&B side. This is the album that I can see Epic Records pushing, because there's a lot of potential songs on here that can run 2017. And so I look at it like that is what Future is going to do. Now, there was rumors that the reason why he putting out 2 albums back to back is because he lost a court decision against Rocco, who's currently suing them. And the decision was that Rocco gets royalties off his next 2 albums. Now, both of them have denied that it's true, but honestly, if it was true, we would probably never find out unless those court documents leaked. But if it was me and I was in that position, I would deny it too. Whatever the situation is, nobody would want it out there if it ended up being true. So like I mentioned, Hendrix is an entirely different listen than Self-Titled. This is an album that Future said on Instagram he wanted to make for a long time. And thus, I feel like this is an album that he spent a lot more time on than his usual music. It's not as easy to make that R&B, that, the type of music that you would hear on radio, that you would see blazing up the Billboard charts. And so I look at it like Future really did put more attention to detail into this music. Make no mistake, Future still pumps out a lot of the lyrics that you're used to, but it's more in an R&B vibe, and I just love it. Now let's talk about my favorite song, starting off with Never Miss a Loss, which is grammatically incorrect as far as how it's written. It's written lost with a T at the end. I'm so glad that when I actually heard the record that that's not what Future was saying in the song. Because I would have been so mad if he was singing Never Miss a Lost. Like, it just doesn't sound right. And so I don't know why the track, the title didn't change, didn't get, fixed. Whatever the case, though, this record right here is the closest we'll get to answering the question, what would Future sound like if he was a member of Jodeci? Matter of fact, I really want that collaboration to happen. They're both on Epic Records, so we could use a Future Jodeci collaboration. I don't know what it would sound like, but I just look at it like, listening to Hendrix, you can hear a lot of the R&B that Future's doing, and I think that with Never Miss a Loss, you kind of get like that vibe from him, like a Jodeci vibe. There's a couple parts in there. I'm not saying the entire song, not saying that Future is going for a whole 90s vibe, but it does sound like there's some parts on this song that are inspired by Jodeci. The next song on my list is Selfish featuring Rihanna. This album actually had guest features. For some reason, Future's been really against doing guest features and appearing on other people's work, and I don't blame him. A lot of people probably counted him out, and so he wants to prove that he can do it without anybody's help. But having Rihanna and The Weeknd on this album also proves that if he wants to have guest features, they can work out in great ways. Especially because those two are artists that he's worked with in the past and shown that he's had a chemistry. On Selfish, I love that it sounds like the two really sat down in the studio together. It wasn't like a mail the verse off, email the verse off. It sounds more like they actually collaborated on this. You got Future and Rihanna kind of interweaving their voices, and I just love how it sounds. It just really comes off great. Without a doubt, Selfish is one of those potential singles that I can see being pushed. The last song on my favorites list is titled Sorry. Whenever you have a long song, 7 minutes long, you have to have a beat that's going to keep people's interest the entire time. And I think Sorry is a great example of doing that. Future is really good on outros, by the way. with Feds did a sweep on Self-Titled, and then you have Sorry on this project. Yeah, just wanted to make a note of that. But for Sorry, I love the beat because it has like a somber feel to it. Instantly, I listened to this song or listened to the beginning of the song and felt like Future was going to say something deep. Honest Future is really some of the best Future. And I'm not talking honest like the album, I'm talking like actually being honest. And so on Sorry, Future is kind of reflecting on failed relationships. He's reflecting on his days as a drug dealer, selling crack to a pregnant woman, and so much more. You can really hear the pain in his voice when he's reminiscing on some of these situations. I also look at it like letting the beat ride out at the end was great. This is a 7-minute song, but it's not 7 minutes of Future rapping. Like I want to say the last minute or so is just the beat riding out. And so it kind of provides like a nice reflection on what Future was just saying. Instead of just abruptly ending, you have this beat that just is great. It's one of my favorite beats on the entire album. Now I wanted to highlight 3 honorable mentions: Coming Out Strong featuring The Weeknd, Use Me, and Solo. Those are 3 other favorites that I had on my list that deserve to be brought up. Now let's talk about the bad songs. Looking Exotic. This beat right here is probably the most energetic on Hendrix, but I don't like anything else about it. Like, the beat is good, but then the concept and, you know, Future's lyrics and all that, it just doesn't work out for me. The concept of being exotic is something that's kind of overplayed in hip-hop. It feels like every rapper talks about it to some degree. Future has talked about it in his music before. And so I just don't think that it was a well-received concept. It was hard to execute. And it's just not a record that I would really revisit after doing this review. The other record on my list is Keep Quiet. Future and repetitive hooks are not friends. Repetitive hooks are pretty much like viruses, and nobody wants a virus. I get that this song is, you know, seemingly responding to the whole situation with Future sleeping with Scottie Pippen's wife. Like, that was a situation that's been in the tabloids and all that. And so I get that this record is serving as a response, but I don't feel like it was like, it didn't execute well. I think that's the reason why I don't like either of these songs, is that they just don't execute well. They don't sound right. And really, I don't really care who Future's sleeping with. And I guess if it's a good song, it's a good song. But it's just, it wasn't working for me. Future gave fans 2 sides of him with 2 albums back to back. Personally, I feel like Hendrix is the superior one here, but that's only because I like R&B Future over like the street aggressive Future. And not to say that I don't like that side of Future, but when you bring the R&B side into the equation, yeah, it's always going to lose in my opinion. I think that Future spends more time creating these R&B songs than he does when he does hip-hop records. There's a lot of potential with this album. And since Future said it's an album he's been wanting to make for a long time, I really hope that this is not an album that's just dropped and then he moves on to the next one. I want Epic Records and Future to really focus on trying to make some of these songs hits. Because, like, if this is the album that you wanted to make, wouldn't you want it to continue to get bigger and bigger and not just move on to the next one? There's a rumor right now that Future might drop a 3rd album. It seems unlikely, and the rumor really doesn't have any credible source. But it's crazy to think that, what if? Like, what if he dropped a 3rd album next week? What if it's like a hybrid of what he's dropping? I don't know what would I expect from a 3rd album from Future back to back to back. I don't think it's going to happen though, so it's really not something worth discussing more in depth. Future doesn't have to give us any more music in 2017. He probably will though. You know Future is always working, so more than likely we'll get some more music later in the year, but I hope it's nowhere near right now. Like, maybe drop in the fall or the winter. But give these albums room to breathe. So those are my thoughts on Future's Hendrix album. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. Are you feeling Hendrix more? Are you feeling self-titled? What were your favorite songs off Hendrix? Talk to me in the comment section below, and then like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video. Follow me on Twitter at SermonsDomain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.